Alright, back here for the second round of survivors. Yes, this is Cortez Shank on camera. He did not miss the cut again today. He was one of the top 3 qualifiers, so he had a bye in the last round of the tournament event. That's a first frame spare for Tez. He qualified second at right around plus 100. Leader, as mentioned earlier, was Zach Martinez at plus 116. On this pair, we also got Sarah Vargas. I believe this is Chris Ortega here. And then John Ellis and Akeem Williams. Paralyzed 5 goes down. Scratch bowlers have moved quite a bit. They've moved towards the left side here. This is actually 15 and 16 that these guys are bowling on. I'm sitting on the bed, on the chair. I'm sitting behind 17 and 18. Tez strikes for the 90 billionth time in his life. And Sarah doubles to start. There's definitely some really low scores in the last round. I guess the lowest score shot was 120 something, but then, which is kind of unusual, but then there were a couple 160s and then a 171. Scores weren't very high in the last round. The other bowler who's now bowling in this round that received a bye in the last round was Brian Monet. So he's to the pair just to the left there on 13 and 14. Tez with a meat streak brawler rings a 10-pin. I think Tez changed it the way he was going to react because he saw the camera. I probably would have too, so. He obviously was not happy with that result. That was a really good shot. Just made an adjustment. First frame he went 2-4, 2-5. I don't even remember anymore. 2-4-8. There you go. Made an adjustment through a really good ring 10. And spare there, so. Spare strike, spare start for Tez. Chris Ortega and Akeem both started strike spares, so they're all pretty neck and neck. Ooh, huge break there, tripping the 9 out of that. Sarah with a bucket after starting with a double. Akeem converts that 4-pin with ease, with much more ease than I did today. And Sarah makes her bucket. So Sarah's off to a bit of a lead here early on. She's at 200s. Everybody else nobody else has doubled yet. Chris has a chance to continue that, to change that with a Brooklyn. So hopefully he can take advantage. Ellis is unable to take advantage there with a goes through the nose, leaves a 3-pin. Sarah with such a beautiful game. She's got such a great physical game. And I think the reason why she's this competitive against the guys is because she can play inside in the middle of the lane where the guys get to. The guys like to get way left. And Sarah can get in there with them and hook it, and I think that really gives her a huge advantage on these flatter patterns. Because I don't think there's another girl in this that goes out here in this conference that can do what she does. And spare strike for Tez. Tez throwing the Meat Street Brawler, which is a really good ball. I have one, so I know I really like that ball. It's really clean, nice and clean through the heads. It gets down the lane, and it makes a good strong move on the back end, but it's not too snappy. It's kind of a strong, it's a nice snap move, but it's not jumpy. It's really, and I used it the first couple of games. Basically, the first couple of games yesterday, my 250 was with it, and I thought sweet, but after that it started to get lazy down the lane. But that's definitely a ball that will work really well around this time when the lanes have dried up. And John goes Brooklyn after I mentioned that the lanes are drying up. How apropos. Ooh, bucket. It's like everybody's having one lane or the other that they're struggling on a little bit. Tez strikes there, so that's his first double. Slaps the 10 out. Bucket. Got it. I threw it, I had a bucket, I threw it that exact same way and I chopped the 5 off, so that was how my day went. Joaquin has a strike up, he could double, that's high, and a 6-9-10. Joaquin looks like he's struck in the first frame on that lane, but looks like he's keeping, and then when, I'm not totally sure who's got the, which lane he's best on right now. Converts. He's going at a 199 pace early on. And unfortunately for him, that actually puts him in last right now by 1 pin. He's trailing John and Chris by a pin. And Sarah and Tez are both in the 200s, 2 O's. Shreds that rack. So he's got that right lane, but a couple of shots that went wide on that left lane. I think he flagged the head pin in the second and then left a bucket. And John with a flat 10. Wasn't able to take advantage of that Brooklyn strike. Sarah with a strike there. Looks like she's got a pretty good look on that right lane. This is a very close matchup here. Everybody's within just a few pins of each other. I I think Tez is ahead by 11 right now. He can start to separate himself a little bit with a strike here. Put him at 220 pace. He does. It looks like he took him just a shot there to get loose, and then he's dialed in. That's another thing about a guy like Tez that makes him so good is, you know, when you dart bowling on a pair and you go to a pair after you're warming up on another pair, for so many of us it takes half a game and sometimes even longer to figure out where to play, and he threw one shot on that right lane with light and immediately figured out where to go, and since then he hasn't missed the pocket. Hakeem just barely leaves that 10, but John Ellis left at 3-6 next to him, so those two are actually tied right now. If they both spare, they're tied after 6 for the low score. John makes his. That 3-6 is tricky. Even with a strike, throw it as straight, it's real easy to either miss, go by the 3-pin, or chop the 3 off of it. Hakeem converts the infinitely easier 10-pin. Oh, Tez drip 479, dirty dog. That's when you know you put good roll on the ball, because on these pins to trip that out with his high rev rate, he's putting a good stuff on it at the bottom, that's for sure. Oh, and Perez gets away with one. He does the same thing Tez did. Through the nose, but he doubles up, so he's now in second. Sarah can actually go back into second with a strike here. This lane that she's gone bucket 4-pin on her last 2 shots. Actually, I'm going to show her shot and then cut for part 2. 10 minutes. We'll be back in just a moment for part 2.